Hey, what's happening, everybody? We just want to jump back on this thing, and it's a lot of stuff going on in the world. A lot of people talking, and I guess I'm gonna be small minded today. I just saw a post from Witches and Co. And she's like, great people talk about ideas, and small people talk about events and people and stuff. And I'm like, woohoo! I'm going small today for a quick second, I guess. Appreciate it, Dre. Appreciate it, Kendra, and whatnot, man. But we just like to offer that different perspective. You know what I'm saying? That total different flow. Think different. Are you a free thinker? Is Kanye West even a free thinker? Or is he controlled by the great puppet master? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't be knowing shit. All right, I mind my business. And it's always this cat over here on the screen that gives me a call to let me know what's going on because I'm a little detached from the world. And so wherever you want to start at, bro, man, there's so much going on. I'd be like, who you talking about? The senator? He'd be like, nah, she ain't the senator. Like, it should be over my head, man. So anyway, man, what's happening?
What's good, man? We just chilling. Peace to the family for y'all coming out and rocking with us. But it's a lot going on. We usually every now and then I give my 2 cents on some of the major things that happen in our culture. Um, because a lot of times it's a good teaching tool. You're able to extract some things out of what we see take place and be able to apply it to your own personal situation. Perception is everything, and the way that information is being brought to us, it's important that we gauge it and really look at it from all angles, all vantage points, to be able to make a really, really good assessment of what it is that we see taking place inside of our culture, as we call it. So I don't know, no man. Where you want to start, man? You want to start with Kanye? I mean, because
I,
he been having
yeah, I
the
can go.
internet's hot,
Yeah. I can get with Ye. That's what's up for sure.
man. So Ye's a fellow Chicagoan. Uh, so excuse me if I may come off a little biased.
And,
Uh,
and Gemini.
right, and Gemini.
So, so
You
we got a
know,
we got a double bias,
so
triple if we count the twins.
yeah, so I got love for the brother, but
Right.
you know a lot of people saying that he's in the sunken place, that Ye is in a place of, because he's dating Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are, what was the verse he said in the record? And when they get on, they leave your ass for a white girl, right? So
Yeah.
it actually came to fruition. But Kanye been on that girl for a long time. No, I remember
Yeah.
we saw what was it, man? It was a teaching tool that I used where before Kanye had even met Kardashian,
Mm-hmm.
he would take pictures of their whole family and Photoshop himself inside of the photos and send those things out like Christmas cards to the Kardashian family.
Yeah.
So, that's a whole nother level
Facts.
of
Yeah.
I want you, and so he got what he sought for. It's interesting how these principles play out, but you can see it in some of the backstories that come out after the fact. But nonetheless, so people saying Kanye in the sunken place. Um, he's been taking a lot of fire for uh, saying that he supports Donald Trump, that he loves Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Uh, he's been under fire for shouting out a young lady by the name of Candace Owens. I think that's her name. Um, a lot of black people are enraged and upset at Kanye because of his endorsement. He basically said that he really loves the way that this young lady thinks. And I think I
Mm-hmm.
want to start my conversation piece right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I watched a few videos on this young lady as the tailspin of media went out of control over the last 48, 72 hours since Kanye made the statement. And I haven't watched everything on her, so let me preface it with that. I watched a couple videos. But one video that I saw in particular that stood out was a video. She was talking to a group of people. I think it was in California somewhere. And it was some people in the back, some African American people in the back, kind of heckling her and it being disagreeable with what she was saying. And then there was some people in the front that were attentive, that were listening, that were trying to absorb the message that she was trying to get across. And her message was this: we cannot continue to put all of our attention on things that happened in the past. In fact, what she said was, we keep talking about oppression as if it's something that we enjoy.
Okay.
Now, her choice of words may have not been the best because it is a very sensitive issue in America in regards to the race and the racism and all of that type of thing. But when you get into these quantum principles and we take it out of the scope of the traditional way of thought, which is what Kanye has been harping on the last couple of days, which is what? I'm an independent thinker. I'm a free thinker. I'm not subject to the group think and these bubbles of consciousness that says I have to think this particular way because a large segment of people are thinking the exact same way, right? And so whenever I read into the storylines, I always look at it from a level of creativity and how things are going to be manifested based upon a person's thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. So when she said we cannot continue to keep focusing on the past, I'm in agreement with that. Y'all probably didn't saw me write about it multiple times. Like, how many times are we going to talk about the same thing that happened before? And some people will argue and say, but Jude, there's still incidents going on across America today where there is police brutality, right? Unfair treatment of blacks, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not disregarding that. But what I am saying is if we continue to keep all of our focus there, then we are going to continue to create more of the same. I didn't show this time and time again. So it takes a tad bit of bravery and a word that a lot of conscious people hate called faith to be able to move forward with the new narrative. Because if all we keep complaining about is what happened 60, 70, 80 years ago, that means we're continuously putting our observation power on that baseline of thought, emotion, and feeling. And so what do? You get the same thing happen again in the modern times based upon what we're thinking and feeling about what happened 10, 15 years ago. I posted a quote yesterday, a physicist. I think his name was, what was it? John Wheeler, maybe? I think that was his name. And he said something along the lines because he started to get into this whole quantum dynamic. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, not only are we responsible for what appears in the here and now, we are also responsible for what appears in the far away and in the past. Now, we have to digest that.
Yeah.
We have to really digest that.
Yeah.
What does this mean? It was another article that Einstein was involved in with another physicist by the last name of Podolsky. I forget, maybe 34, 33, I forget the exact year. But I use it in a lot of my presentations. And Einstein went on the record to say that, listen, according to this quantum dynamic and the way that these equations are being represented to us as physicists. Even though he called it spooky action, he couldn't deny the math. And so what he said was, look, according to this data, the past is just as uncertain as the future. Now, the traditional linear thinker, the one that Kanye is saying to hell with that type of mindset, when you hear that, it's going to stretch your logic to places that you're probably not comfortable going because you're so used to thinking in a straight line and that time is always moving in an arrow pointing to the future, that on a quantum level, the past is just as uncertain as the future. How? It already happened. We can go back and we can read that this happened at this time. We can dig up the fossils to say this is what happened at this time. Well, yes, on the particle side of the equation, when we're looking at the physical evidence, but on a mental level of thought and observation, what this means is, even though you think that you're only reliving out or you're rereading out what happened in the past, your consciousness is still involved in that equation of what you're looking at, what you're reading, what you're hearing. So now what happens? We get on this hamster wheel of perpetual creation and we only give ourselves more things to complain about, which validates the very thing that we said we were against. So, prime example, another example. Young girl in Texas gets body slammed at a pool about 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe it might have been longer. It might be about maybe 2015 by a white officer down in the state of Texas. 2 weeks later, the exact same thing happens at another pool party to another young black teenage girl, almost identical situations. So I keep on saying to people, we got to create, and this it challenges free thinkers, is what Kanye is trying to do. When are we going to step outside the box and look toward a future scenario and hold our convictions just as strong as we do to things that have previously happened in the distant past, or even some of the things that have just happened in the immediate past? So we didn't talk about what didn't happen for the last, I don't know how long that narrative been going on, and we still talking about it. So that means even though you keep bringing up what happened in the past, even though you keep addressing it in a way of victimhood, it still continues to perpetuate itself, which is why you're continuously talking about it, because ain't nothing changed in regards to it. So that means we have to take in a different approach and consciousness to fix the situation. So in regards to her stance on we have to look forward to the future, I'm in total agreement. Um, Now, in full context of that conversation that she's having, because she's saying, it's over. Now, that's not 100% true. As I expressed to you the other day, DeBeer, or yesterday, it's been shown that things that have happened to people in the past get filtered down through their genes, and it causes phobias in the individuals. So, a better narrative, a more holistic narrative would be, we can't stay stuck in the past on what has happened. We have to create a new scenario of what we envision to be in our futures. But at the same time, there's a healing process that has to go on from the trauma that has been passed down through the observation of our near ancestors into our current condition today. But that's not going to change by constantly complaining about who inflicted the oppression. And that's the problem. So we have to deal with it as adults, get healing so that we can remove these phobias and these traumas from out of our cellular memory, right? So that we can move forward and be progressive, productive people. Would you agree, Noble?
Yeah, 1,000%. So what happens is, because I know it's kind of hard to imagine, well, what the hell is Einstein and them talking about? The past is just uncertain as the future, and the past is the past. An event happened, but there's no way that you personally right now that you can test the past. Those events did happen. You can't change the physical, quote unquote, event that happened, but you can add on to the event from the past to have it show up in your immediate reality called the future. So let me be very clear. So a young lady calls Minister Jew and she talks about a situation with her father. And, her father had her, when she was a young girl, and, she lived with her father, and he been passed for a few years. And when she went to go stay with her mom at a certain age, the mom and the dad get into a big old argument, and the father never comes back. And she holds this particular pain and upset, rightfully so, that her father would do such a thing. Well, she moved to a new place of residence, and Minister Jew was telling her, I just want you to pretty much do X, Y, Z as it pertains to your father. I won't give up the details. And when he telling me, I said, ooh, buddy, I hope you told her that he would mess around and appear. And he said, oh, yeah, I told her that part, So long story short, the lady ended up getting a piece of mail at a new residence that nobody knows that she live in from a funeral home in the name of her father, as if the funeral home is soliciting his service, as if, hey, Mr. Smith, you're getting old. And when you do get old and die, think about using our services. So where did that come from? You see? So the exercise that you can do, in a sense, is, well, think about something from the past. Just think about something and don't think about the horrible portion of it. Think about something good, in a sense. Maybe you want something good to happen. Just think a person you ain't seen in a while. Just think on it and be consistent enough. 28 days consistency, and see if some type of synchronicity or coincidence don't pop up into your life. It will. See, you have to get into this. You can't say that God is within you. The quantum reality and the mind has all this infinite potential, and we're only using 2% of our brain, Minister Jew, and we can do anything we want to do. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then you should be able to affect the past. And I'm telling you, it is very real. So when we speed it up and you look at a situation, because what happens is space has memory. We keep telling y'all this. And I'm talking about understanding the solar system diagram that we live in, that the earth is floating, in a sense, going around the sun. Okay. These spatial prints called 365 days or 360 degrees in the circle. Okay. Same thing. These different stations in your calendar system known as a day, they have memory. So back in, when you look at 9/11 that took place in New York City, right? 9/11 happens, horrible event, and you know who to blame. You can call it the Muslims from the Middle East, Osama and them. And what year was that, man? It was maybe, I forget the year, man, maybe 2013, 15, somewhere up in there. There was a deadly crane crash, a crane that builds buildings. It fell on the mosque in Mecca, and it killed 111 people. It's absolutely the worst crane crash ever recorded because it killed 111 people. I'm talking about a wind came and knocked the crane down, fell on the mosque, demolished portions of the mosque, and Muslims got splattered, literally. Okay. It happens on 9/11, the exact same day as 9/11 happens. And I showed people it was 15 because it was a 14-year cycle. And so anyway, I showed people in the presentation that we give, it's like, look, the people constantly on 9/11 go to the memorial and they cry. They project a negative, hurtful emotion, rightfully so. Okay. but they project that emotion out into the intelligence of ether, light, sound, energy, water, New York. All of this stuff is intelligent elementals. Okay. And then you have the nerve at nighttime to take light and you project it up in space as if it's a remembrance of the Twin Towers. So it's just like a movie projector. Okay. You're taking the emotional energy of these locations and you're taking light and you're projecting it out into the ether. Well, I don't care how long it takes. What happens is thought is in every region of space. Okay. But when it's in a certain region of space, and all it takes, honestly, is for a planet to be moving and occupy that region of space, it serves like an amplifier where that thought trickles back down into our reality and somebody gets an idea, okay? Or all of a sudden, the energy crystallizes as a storm, a wind comes and knocks a crane down on the exact same day. And then when you look into the history of crane crashes, okay, you will see that New York City held the deadliest crane crash on the record ever, where only 8 people had died. So New York City, the same place where all the trauma takes place on 9/11, 2001, transfers this energy of negative emotions from 9/11 along with the crane crashing in their city, the deadliest on record. They transfer that mirror reality, cranes, okay, in days 9/11, 2 different realities, 2 twin towers, okay, follow me. They transfer that energy via ether, okay, where now 14 years later, and let me be precise, the planet Saturn is exactly in this place, okay? The energy materializes and then the crane crashes, okay? So this is a very real thing. We have to be absolutely, I hate to use the word conscious, Jew, but damn, conscientious of our thoughts and what we're projecting. So in a sense, you have to create a new narrative. And I got to give Puff his props on that for creating that hashtag, a new narrative. And when I see Kanye West coming, it's like, oh, you get it. See, no, it has anybody like, are you really that emotional and traumatized? And yes, you probably are, where you can't even see the irony of something like Ross said it. Like, man, listen, you got to build, you got to destroy before you build. So what if Kanye West is taking the position of shit? I love Trump for the simple fact that he done made niggas mad, and hopefully that anger will produce motivation to get off your ass and you go fix the water in Flint, Michigan, since all you niggas got money and all you niggas got something to say and all of you niggas got platforms. Everybody can chip in right now and fix Flint, Michigan versus waiting for the white man to do it, because the white man has no reason to poison bummy ass Flint, Michigan. And I ain't knocking Flint, but when we went up there and we saw, like, what's the purpose of Flint? Go kill niggas in Detroit. If it's like that, go kill niggas in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. When do you take responsibility? So do Kanye come and say, you know what? I'm going to play devil advocate, Gemini. Typical Gemini shit. I'm going to run on the other side of logic. You got to understand what this represents. This is a guy that represents a frequency of duality. It is Cain and Abel. Okay, I'm going to rock this side of the ledger. And you just got to ask your question. I laugh at niggas. And I'm like, where the hell is niggas Art of War concepts at? You know what I'm saying? Like, he could really be taking this position to just say this. I love Trump for the simple fact that we can have this conversation and we can get motivated and we can make America great, versus you complaining, when was America ever great? America's not great. But damn, that means you a sucker and you ain't great, and you don't want to be great. And if it's not great, can you make it great? Because I want to make it great. I don't want to live in a place that's not great. So let's make it great. So I rest my case with that, man.
Man, I'm in full agreement. What happens is there's a different section of people who are anti the landmass that they're on. And I get it. But see, here's the question. If you've been paying attention to this guy's tweets, he's prefacing everything with love. Everything. He's opening his whole conversation piece with, we need to love. Love is the strongest force, etc., etc. Now, my question is this. In America, on this landmass, tell me when, and I'm speaking from a very physical place, physical, not no spiritual overtones here. DeBeer, when have black people on this landmass got aggressive enough to actually step to this dude in a warlike, combative way?
That's very interesting.
The last time I checked, when black folks actually got, and see, I'm not with all them arguments about, oh, they only freed us for the money. It was a capital investment type of thing. Or like, no.
Right.
That's not my vantage point from the situation, right? Because other white people died. It was white women dressing up like men that died in that particular war, right? So I couldn't see myself, like, put yourselves in that predicament. I couldn't see myself killing somebody who looked just like me in droves for some halfway conspiracy. I don't know. I can't see that. I can't rock with that. So the last time that black people got any type of relief handed to them was through Martin Luther King's efforts. Am I wrong, DeBeer?
Yeah, you can say that for sure. I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
And it was a non-violent type of movement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to be real about what we are willing to do. And if we basing it upon what we previously have done, the truth of the matter is this: it has always been some other white folks who have intervened on the behalf of black folks to push you into another place of what appears to be freedom, security, and equality.
Right.
Am I wrong, DeBeer?
Yeah. I want to add on real fast on that, because somebody asked me, like, the Art of War joint, and you brung up King, because I started to type in the chat, like, that's the love concept to a degree, that Martin Luther King thing. See, I ain't gonna lie, I could never understand that. If I had to choose, I was like, nigga, I'm rolling with Malcolm. Punch me, I'm punching you back. What you talking about? They don't make no sense, right? You got to grow into understanding the King ideology and what's happening. Real fast. See, it sounds so cliche, Jew, if I say, when you hear Kanye call up Ebro and he's like, man, I just love you, man. I love you too, Kanye, man. I just called to tell you I love you. I love you too, Kanye. And you get on that kind of stuff, it becomes like, nigga, stop playing. You like, it's cliche. It's like, you corny, right? And you know why? Because the truth is, we haven't had the time. Well, we had the time, but we haven't chose to activate what love is. Because again, the timeline of history is real short. 1600s, you a slave. 1865, you can say Emancipation Proclamation, you get your freedom. Let's just give you that for simple records. A whole 100 years later, it's 1965. In just 3 years, it's 68. King is dead. In just 100 years after the slaves is up. 1968 is a lot of people that's on here right now that was born in 68, and for damn sure your parents is in this particular moment. All right. I'm a 70s baby. So my parents is in this particular moment right here. Okay. So now this brings us up to what? Us right now, from 68 to right now. This is what I call the Rodney King era, the Trayvon Martin era. Police brutality happens, right? Police brutality happens. And that brutality is a reinforcement of the things that we watch called roots, civil rights, slavery. So therefore, we're stuck in these particular traumas, okay, that play out. So to a degree, when I say we haven't had time to love, that's what I mean. So love appears to be cliche. So what I'm gonna say real fast and get it right back to you is when King comes and say non-violent, see, what you're doing is, you had people like hitting this dude with bricks and rocks when he's walking, and boom, he just taking it. Oh, keep on marching. Boom, just taking it. Oh, keep on. Right. And you're like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? Are you crazy? And so you're making your opposition the most, he's being the most demonic thing that you can ever witness. Anybody that comes in pure opposition of what you would call a non-violent love movement. And when what happens is, the truth of the matter is, since you not bout it like that as a collective, because let the record reflect, Jack, that Black folks in America have never risen up to a point that have put stomped white America and white supremacy out and said, this is the new America. This is it. We're victorious. That has never happened. Okay.
Nope.
Because you're not about that kind of work. So therefore, the work that you are part of is this new thing, which is the thing that got you free, which is this concept that's called the union. Fuck the Black Party, Charlemagne the God. It's called the Union Party. Okay, because let's be real, like Charlemagne, like, man, we just need to do our own thing called the Black Party, right? But you got people like Charlemagne roll with and his co-host Andrew Schultz, right? And let's be real, you got cool white corporate folks and outside of white folks, outside of Black folks rather, that is really down for the cause of helping your empowerment. Meek Mill get out of prison. The owner of the 76ers flies a fucking helicopter in, pick my man up. Let's go to the game, nigga. Shower up in the locker room. Come out here and let's win this game. Right? Like, it's something that's different that's taking place. So even when you understand the climate of Meek Millie, Philly, independence, and how Michael swooped in on a helicopter and picked this ass up, you got to get to the next plateau of conscious and understand what this thing is about. So we keep saying it. The real line is what we would call Confederate against the Union. But my point is, when you operate in that mode of love, what that union really represents, okay, what that union really represents, then anybody that comes to oppose that shows the entire world that you are demonic. So now when other forces decide to come and stump that ass, it is well justified. Because the moment that you fight back in your conflict, and I'm not telling you not to fight back, I'm just looking at it from the philosophical point of view, just looking at it as an observer. The moment that you fight back, you leave room for discrepancy. Oh, damn, he sprayed you with a water hose, but did you have to take his billy club and choke him out and kill him? You could have let him go after you saw he couldn't breathe. Why you do that to the dude that was, you know what I'm saying? It turns into a gray area. But when you stay the path of love, and that thing that King was projecting, because that took a whole lot of something else to walk that particular path. All right. Then I'm telling you, it becomes a whole new ball game. And that's why when you look into the story of King, when I start digging deeper, I'm like, yo, they had the National Guards on deck. The National Guard used to be on deck down in Alabama, Mississippi against the Klan and them, telling nigga, I wish I would try to run up on King. We're going to bust y'all ass and it's going to be Civil War Part 2. That's the kind of art of war strategy that you need to be on. All right. All right. Go ahead, bro. I had to get that off, man.
No, man, them all good points. So, then I heard Kanye rapping, freestyling. It's like you said, it's the duality, it's the Gemini. He's like, what did he say on that record, man? You're teaching your kids about white dominance.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude is a wild card, man. I'm telling you, he's a wild card, and whatever he's doing, it's working. Obviously, people saying he's trying to sell some records, but he definitely got the people attention nonetheless. So what else is in the news, Noble man? I think we got
Man, you got your boy Cosby, man. They
Bill.
they let Meek out to get Bill. Ain't that what it said?
Yes, that's
What it
what
say?
free. They let Mills go to get Bill.
Man,
That's
listen,
right.
listen. Before you go into that, Jew had to call me, right? He calls me and he tells me this shit, and I'm like, oh, that's what they meant when they said that. I'm gonna tell you how slow I am and how disconnected I am, right? So somebody made a little meme that's like, okay, they what did it say? They let Meek out to get Bill, something like along that line. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so slow, right? I thought that they was alluding to the fact, which totally makes no sense when I think about it. I thought they was alluding to the fact that like Meek Mill got out of prison just so he can start hanging with a white person named Bill. I didn't get that they was connecting it to Bill Cosby and shit, right? And so that's how slow I am because it made absolutely no sense. Because again, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania could have said, and excuse my language, but F Meek Mill, we ain't gotta let him out. I don't want to hear shit. That nigga staying where he is and get Bill too. Okay? I'm just saying.
Right.
Come on, man. Go ahead, bro.
No, I mean that's really it in a nutshell. See what it be, Noble, is it's been so many inconsistencies in the way that, and I'm going to tell you what it really comes from. It comes from all the injustice from these cops who get
Yeah.
away with murder,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so everything appears to be, you know, they gonna get away with it. We never get away with it. So then, the 360-degree view of each and every individual situation becomes like you got cops in Baltimore going to jail, right? I
Yeah.
mean, all last month I was posting stuff about different officers being indicted, and I mean actually going to jail, not charged, not in trial, but convicted, right? Um, and so we see that it's the lines are getting blurred based upon the data and the way that it's being filtered in from previous situations, and then we take that emotional charge from the disdain of what didn't happen on the justice side, and then it creates the narrative that we speak of and that people are having today. Um, so I get it. I'm not naive to the why we jump into that vein. Um, but as far as the Cosby case is concerned, listen, man, I'm not going to pacify the situation. Bill Cosby was giving women drugs to make them unconscious. That's just the truth. He admitted to it, man. Right? So I get it. They didn't convict him on drugs. They convicted him on the sexual thing. But let's just be clear. One led to the other, right? One leads to
Mhm.
the other, right? So, and the reason that, listen, a lot of people, they tripping out. They mad at the sisters. I see some brothers on the timeline. Why is the sisters so happy Bill Cosby going to jail, right?
Mhm.
Let me tell y'all something. When you in the business of teaching people how to clean up traumas, do you know how many women come to me that have been sexually abused, man?
Facts, man.
I mean, when I did my first 21-day positron pass challenge, I don't know, might have had, I don't know what, 40, 50 people sign up for that. More than, I would say, 40% of the PDFs that I had to personally create for the people who signed up was due to some man molesting one of these now adult women at some point in her youth. So when these women see this verdict, they naturally feel attached to the situation that they didn't get any justice from because they mama didn't believe that her boyfriend was touching on her or Uncle Larry was touching on her, right? Or her brother's friend was touching on her. So y'all, people not in the trenches that I'm not here to hear these people's stories. You don't quite understand the emotional connection that they have to a perpetrator like Bill Cosby. I'm sorry. Like, listen, man, it's a sickness there somewhere. And so Bill Cosby needs help. He does. Somewhere in his psychology, he enjoys making out with women who are halfway unconscious. I'm just the beer. I'm just keeping it 1,000, man. That's a sickness,
Yeah.
right? So, so you know, usually where there's smoke, there's fire, man. Right? So when you really deal with balancing the scales, man, it don't matter who it is. If you bogus, you bogus.
Yeah.
If you bogus, you bogus. So it's unfortunate for everybody involved. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. But anytime, listen, anytime you admit to saying that the drugs you got were to give to women who you like to have sex with,
Right.
we have a problem. We got a problem. This type of behavior leads to other behavior. We just can't ignore that and throw that away. That's a very key piece of evidence to analyze a person's psychology. So it's unfortunate for Bill, man. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate to all the women out there who really did get assaulted or drugged by Bill, because I don't think all of them did. Let me be clear. I think a lot of them were out there money grabbing, right? But because the lines are so blurred, it's very difficult to be able to make out who's telling the truth and who's lying. When the perpetrator himself is admitted to wanting to give and purchasing drugs to give to women that he wanted to have sex with, it becomes very difficult to point out, okay, she's lying, she's lying, she's lying. So then it's just an open circus. Now you got 50, 60 women, and probably 75% of them is in it for a money grab, and another 25% is telling the truth.
Right.
Highly plausible. So, it's just unfortunate. Either way you chop and dice it, man.
Man, I can't even comment on Bill, man. You know what I mean? Like if a report in a civil case literally states that, and this is Bill admitting to, having that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Next case. Like I got nothing to say. Like it's nothing to defend, you know?
It's not. And listen, you hear like people asking about R. Kelly. Listen, there's public outcry there too. It's public outcry. Harvey Weinstein too. It's public outcry. Like for 2 months, all you heard was Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So these people gonna get their day. You like we have to keep it in real context. Bill Cosby has been being accused of doing this to women for decades. We have to really keep it in context. For decades. Not just found out 6 months ago, not just found out a year ago, but these allegations, settlements in court, have been going on for decades. So when you got to be able to make sure you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, right? In fact, R. Kelly went to trial, but he beat it.
Right.
He beat it. You know what I'm saying? And now he's back in a tight spot again. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
he's back
yeah.
in a tight spot again. You know what I mean? So We just got to be real truthful about our observations in regards to these situations. I mean, don't let our emotions run us amok, and try to stay as focused as possible, man. You know?
Yeah, man. You gotta do something great. That don't mean ignore what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you just can't be on the sidelines all the time either. You know what I mean? And only weighing in when you see, the what would call effery or whatever you don't like, man. I mean, I just want to say on a whole nother note, man, on a whole nother note with us,
Yeah, man.
um,
You got to do
we
something
pay
great.
people bills, for since January 2012, we got something called the Toel Love Fund. We pitch in $13 a month. And within that particular fund, we just go down the list and we divide the pot by four on the last day of the month. So that upcoming month, four people get a payment to handle their bills on the first, whatever. Right. And we've been doing that successfully ever since January of 2012. Okay. But what I want to say is a happy Mother's Day to all the ladies. Get on our email list, theimaginationguru.com, myastrologycoach.com. But happy Mother's Day because I've decided to buy a historical house, a home, and I'm gifting that house to women who can come and develop their creativity. I'm not talking about no government programs. I'm not getting involved in none of that. I'm talking about where women can come for a place of retreat, for peace, solace, and just chill and get into their creative juices and become the great creators that y'all are and whatnot. And it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? The house needs complete rehab, but for the price I got it at, of course it would. But I'm just saying, man, let's do great things. And to me, for us in my circle, because realizing that we've been supported by a lot of women over the years. We've held what going on. This is like trip number 24 next month in June, because in my mind is May. So next month in June, we'll be like on trip 24. And I can only remember out of 24 trips, only one time has there been more men than women. So we are always flanked by women. And I think the subject matter that we deal with, spirituality, has always to a degree been termed and deemed to be or perceived to be a feminine path. And that's absolutely okay. But in just being able to produce and give back in a way that we can provide what I call that incubator in Detroit, Michigan, which if you've been rocking with me for years, I've been said years ago, like, yo, we need to be up in Detroit where we can make some power moves and buy things up cheap. And now what's happening? You see mass development happening, but there's still so much stuff out there that is still cheap in certain places. But anyway, there's a building called the Madison Building in Detroit. It's a skyscraper that used to be abandoned. Well, now they redid it, and this is a think tank for tech people. Anybody that's young kids off the street, that's anybody interested in tech. They have think tanks there every single freaking day at the Madison Building. Google this and read it. Well, that's the same opportunity that I decide. I've been blessed. I mean, when I say blessed, like blessed, right? And I'm like, yo, this house, and I'm going to get this free webinar on Saturday, May the 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So get on our mailing list. I'm going to show you this property, but it's right here on Facebook. You can just look on my page. You see it. Like, blessed. We're going to get this property. I'm going to give you a vested interest share in the property that I'm going to show you in the webinar. And we're going to remodel this thing, and we're going to allow women to have a very safe, sacred space to create. All right. And this is going to be phenomenal. And then the brothers, once you see it's very real, then we're going to do some more things. We got things in the pipeline that we ain't even talking about. But I just wanted to say that real early when you see this. Happy Mother's Day. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all and whatnot. And, let's do great things, because guess what? I'm in the sunken place, and I want to make America great again. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. Man, give the people some insight, man. What's going on over there in that 21-day challenge, man? What's going on
Nah,
over
man,
in
you
the,
got to be in that thing, man. If you
oh,
ain't,
you
man,
go,
if you ain't get in on that, man, I'll be, hey, y'all that's in that challenge. Although we know that some of y'all members inside the Imagination Guru private page that we got, member page on Facebook, do not be sharing techniques because everybody that's a member didn't necessarily sign up into this particular thing and whatnot. So, but it's phenomenal. Shout out to Kay Littles, man, hit me up yesterday. She did the exercise where she had to go deal with this money. I ain't gonna say what, but dealing with this money. And she hit me up yesterday like, I got an $1,800 order. I bet you did. And she like, and I'm doing the particular technique and whatnot. This shit is amazing. So she's balling out of control with pure glee and happiness, and that's what it's about. So if you missed it, man, you missed it. Never be on the fence with this, man. When you see us come with things, especially challenges, man, like really get in. But I got y'all 6 months from now. You know what I mean? In October, I'll do something with y'all if you missed it, and show you what's up and whatnot, man. But we in June we got a silent retreat that's coming up. No talking and whatnot from Friday night to Sunday at 2:00 p.m. It breaks. Beautiful place in the countryside. You can get to it on both of our sites, myastrologycoach.com. Hit the retreat, hit the shop tab, hit retreats, or hit events rather. Hit events, then retreats. On the countryside of Baltimore, we're going to be in Maryland. Beautiful place. The picture of the property is literally the property that we staying at. And then in September, we doing something in Florida. Rented the mansion that you see on the website. That physical property is the property we'd be at. It's going to be phenomenal weekend. We'll be talking about prosperity and, bring your business plan, man. Let's talk about money. Going to have a pool party, all white day party. Next day, night out in Miami. Go to Miami Beach, riding down on DJ Khaled and going to the finger licking. I'm going to eat some of that good food for sure. I'm just going to have a phenomenal time, man. So that's going to be in September. You want to get in the early bird special because, you save money, but the early bird for Florida is July the 13th. Okay. So you want to be paid in full by July 13th. All right. Make that happen. Cause this is going to totally be off the chain, man. We got to do something different and you got to step your game up. So again, we so blessed and we having so much prosperity around us that, shit, we went ahead and paid for a mansion, all cash, and let's do our deal and let's have some fun and let's talk about growth, man. You know what I mean? So again, get with us. And I'm gonna have a pop-up. I'm telling y'all now, man. So I may have 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have a pop-up shop in Myrtle Beach the first week of August, literally August the 1st, and that first couple days, I'll be in Myrtle Beach. So if you want to pull up on me, man, pull up on me and we can talk some business and we can shoot the shit on the beach and have some great conversation in Myrtle and whatnot. And so, be looking for me on the pull up.
that's what it is. Um, Getting these memberships, quantum imaging, quantum scriptures. Um, y'all be seeing the testimonials. I ain't got to keep saying it. We ain't got to keep
Yeah.
saying it. They there. You know what I mean? Track record speaks for itself. We really more involved in people's personal growth and development. But sometimes some things just happen that are so grand on the radar as far as culture is concerned that we take time out to have a conversation piece about it, um, just so that we can share our perspective on it in terms of how we approach things mentally. You know what I mean? Because obviously we got a formula that wins and that works based upon how
Yeah.
we think about this reality, right? And so we servants first. We here to help people, man. That's what we're designed to do. In fact, I got a call tonight. Quantum imaging members, we on tonight, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get the links about 15 minutes before the presentation begins. Um, if you're on the fence, like Anpu said, take a leap of courage and faith and jump in these memberships, man. They really, really, really are effective. And you got access to myself, Anpu. You can call us. You can email us. We really good about picking up the phones,
Yeah.
getting back to people on emails. We pride ourselves on having quick responses. That way, we don't ever have to worry about a bunch of lag time and people complaining and whatnot. So we try to make sure that we get back to people anywhere between 24 to 48 hours. So shout out to all the members. Keep doing the good work.
Yeah.
Remember, practice, practice, practice. Right. And when these type of events pop up, right, just remember it's only for a small period of time, but keep your eye on your vision.
Yeah.
What is it that you looking to manifest? What's your goal? Right? Y'all know the protocol. Y'all know the procedure. Um, so shout out to all the people in the memberships, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is, family. So again, free webinar, get on our email list, and that's how you get the information. It is May the 5th, Saturday, first Saturday in May rather, 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace.
Peace.